Yo, what's good YouTube? It's Damo Illusion back with another video. I want to just say it again. Thank you for the comments, all the support. Like, subscribe, you know what I'm saying? If you just checking my video out for the first time, I got a whole lot of content. I've been posting every day, daily, so I'm going to keep this ball rolling. If you see the title of this video, it's why toxic relationships are good. And I know it's very controversial, right? That's very controversial. You probably thinking, yo, Damo Illusion, what you talking about? Toxic relationship and good. Ain't toxic bad? Toxic is always bad. There's no good, right? Well, not necessarily. And let me start this off by prefacing and having a disclaimer. If you're in one of those toxic relationships where it's physical abuse and it's very like mental abuse, like it's very, very serious, cops is being called, all types of stuff like that, domestic violence, in no shape or way or form am I approving of that. So I just want to make that be clear. And if you're ever in a situation with anybody and it gets to physical, like that type of toxic, then you guys clearly don't have respect for each other and you guys should just move on. I don't care how much love and all of that. No, just move on from that. So I just want to let that be known off the bat so people don't think I'm advertising for situations like that. Now, what do I mean by a toxic relationship being good? Well, let me start off by saying, like, this ain't like back then, like way back when people met in middle school, people met in high school, they met their high school sweethearts, and they get together and they get married and they have 2-3 kids, and then they're together 10-15 years, and then they end up divorced, and then they end up being in the dating market. Like, this isn't the world we live in anymore, where people are meeting each other young and then they're staying together for a long time. Like, hey, I don't know. You guys tell me if you're younger, maybe you're in high school. Did you ever meet your high school sweetheart? Did you ever even have a high school sweetheart if you graduated from high school? Like, how many people nowadays are really meeting their first love or the person that they wanted to spend the rest of their life with when they were young, and then they actually fulfilled that and there was nothing like that came in between you guys, right? Like, I want to believe that that's not as common as as it once was. You understand? So why am I saying this? Why am I bringing up people not being together from when they're young and growing together? Because that means if you don't have a high school sweetheart, you don't meet somebody when you're young, that means more than likely you're going to get hurt along the way. That means more than likely you're going to be in more than one relationship. That means if you're putting yourself out there, of course, if you're not in a relationship because you're young and you're in school and you focusing on your grades and you focusing on your path, that's a beautiful thing. So in no way should you ever feel ashamed for doing what you got to do as a youngin', getting your grades, finding out who you want to become in your life. So you have a whole lot of time to date and to meet people. But I'm saying for those people that they started off young, meeting people, usually more often than not your first love or the first person that you really care for, they're not going to be there. You know, so what that means is there's going to be multiple relationships that you're going to be in. So now, what do I mean? A toxic relationship is good. I truly believe, I'm a firm believer, sometimes you got to get it wrong to get it right. You understand what I'm saying? Like, listen, it would be beautiful for us to get in a relationship and it works and it's perfect, but that's not human nature. We're people. We have our own traumas that we grow up with. Maybe some of us are raised with 2 parents, some of us are raised with 1 parent, some of us are raised with no parents. You understand? So we all have different walks of life. So when you out there, you meeting people, you don't know the relationship they have and the way they was raised and what they believe, if they believe in marriage, if they're against it, whatever. So that it makes it real difficult for you to meet somebody, especially when you're young or graduate high school, if you graduate high school or you go to college, it's hard to meet somebody, that first person. Usually we're not with that first person that we had strong feelings for. So why would a toxic relationship be helpful? You have to learn the things that you don't like. You have to learn your non-negotiables. You have to learn about yourself. You got to learn about other people. In my case, I'm a man. I got to learn about other women and different types of women there are before I could just say, this is what I like in a partner, or this is what I need from a partner. Hey, I've been in relationships that lasted a year, and then the next relationship I had lasted 3. So I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty details of my relationship, because at the end of the day, you got to protect the partners that you with and respect them, whether it worked out or it didn't, or if you guys fell off, whatever. So ain't really going to get too deep into that. But what I am going to say is, in turn, I went from a relationship that lasted a year to my next one lasting 3. And why? Because I learned from that first one, and I realized, damn, I didn't like that. I didn't like how I felt when I dealt with that. I didn't like who I was when I was accepting what I was accepting. You understand? And there's times where it's not always the partner. It's times that it's not always the other person. Sometimes you're the toxic one. And you have to admit that to yourself. You have to look in the mirror and you got to take some type of accountability, and you got to be honest with yourself. Like, you can't always be pointing the finger and saying, oh, they're the toxic one. Nah, you toxic. She toxic. He toxic. Y'all toxic, and y'all toxic together. Like, cut it out. Don't make this about putting the blame and not taking accountability. You got to look within, because that's the only way a toxic relationship ends up good, because you get the lessons and you get the game and you get the wisdom and the knowledge from that said relationship. So you can grow and become a better man or a better woman for your next relationship. That's what it's all about. It's about trial and error. It's about being with people, giving your best and your best to that situation. Whether it works out or not, at least you could take from that situation, from that relationship, and move on and be better. You understand? I don't want people to read the title of this video and get it misconstrued and think, oh, let's just be in toxic relationship after toxic relationship, and let's be in a cycle of toxic relationships. It's not about being in a cycle. It's about ending said cycle. And I'm going to be honest with you, when you're in the toxic relationship and you in the heat of that passion and you making up and you breaking up and you think you in love and you know what I mean? All of that, that's passion. But at the same time, you have to realize that that cycle isn't healthy. And once you realize that's not healthy and you realize the part you play in it, because sometimes you could be an enabler, right? Let's say you aren't really necessarily toxic. You was raised right and you have all the best intentions for this relationship, but you don't have boundaries. You understand? You don't have boundaries, and now you allowing all types of stuff that you would never allow. And the only reason you allowing this is because you're highly attracted to this person for whatever reason. And for you to get better and be a better person for your next relationship, you have to create a boundary. You have to understand, okay, I'll accept this. I won't accept that. This is my deal breaker. This is my non-negotiable. So you have to set boundaries. And on the other end, if you're toxic, maybe you have trauma. Maybe you've been through things. Maybe you want to get back. Because some people get hurt and their solution to their hurt is, I'm just going to go into the next relationship. I'm going to go into the next rebound, and I'm going to give them a hard time. And I'm going to make them pay for the last person and everything I went through. And that's such a negative way to go into a relationship. Anybody who's being toxic like that needs to take the time out of being in relationships, period, and give it some time so they can learn who they are and be comfortable within their skin and love themselves. Like a video I have in the Damo Illusion series, love yourself or no one will. Shameless plug, but check that out. But yeah, I just wanted to make this video letting people know, like, if you've ever been in a toxic relationship, or if you're afraid to put yourself out there because of said toxic relationships, I believe it's inevitable, especially when you're young, navigating the dating market and learning people and meeting new people. And like I said, we not getting the first hit. Like, and when I say hit, I mean your first love, your first relationship, and being with that person for forever. I mean, that's beautiful if you're one of those lucky ones that got that. But for a majority of us, we picking up the pieces, we hurt, and we figuring it out. So in the midst of figuring it out, you figure out yourself, and you can heal from toxic relationships, and you could be a better person for that next person that you're going to be with, your potential wife, husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. So with that, I'm going to conclude the video. It's Damo Illusion. I come to conclusion. And if you've ever been in a toxic situation, if you made it this far into the video, drop down in the comments. Let me know. Let me know how that went for you and how you feeling about it now, It's all about reflection. But yeah, like the video and subscribe. Do what y'all got to do.